Welcome to Colombia! Welcome, wonderful people all over the world. My name is Frank, I'm Swiss, and I run a tour operator here in Bogota, Colombia. I came to Colombia in 2015, and since then, lots changed. You will find this extensive information also on our website in written form. Just go to Google, search for Bogota Travel Guide Pelecanus, or you will find the link down in the description section also to get on the website on the blog. So I have some notes to it, and we will start with the attractions here around Bogota. We actually just start here right away. I'm here on Guadalupe, or the Virgin. We are on 3,300 meters above sea level, and over there you will see Monserrate, and this is actually a good alternative during the week. This place is empty, nobody's here, but it's a little bit difficult to get here because you need to have a driver or a taxi or car, whatever, because usually buses are coming up here on the weekends, and then the place is packed because everybody wants to go to the church, and some people also walk on here on their knees, so it's kind of welfare destination. And Monserrate is much easier. You can go up there with a cable car, with gondola, or walking. It's 45 minutes to 90 minutes walking, but be aware, on weekends Monserrate is super packed, so I don't recommend going there, and during the week it's much better. There's also VIP tickets you can buy. That's especially good when going back down, because sometimes the lines are quite long. Then also I want to mention, on our blog on the website you will find a tourist map. Very good overview of everything you need to know. Then let's start right away with the main destination for tourists here in Bogota. This is La Candelaria. This is the historic part of Bogota. That's also where I live since 2015, and actually everything for tourism is there. You find all the museums, and Monserrate and Guadalupe is very close, and everything. So let's start with the most important sites. So we will start with the Bolivar Square, and as you might know or not, Simon Bolivar was the big liberator of Gran Colombia from the Spaniards, and because of this, most main squares in whole Colombia are called Bolivar Squares. And this one here in Bogota, it's impressive, it's huge, and next to the square you also find the Justice Building, the Congress is there, Casa Nariño, the House of the President, lots of stuff is there. It's also the beginning of the Carrera 7, the 7th Street, and this street is actually packed with performance artists and vendors, and on weekends it's a huge chaos. Be aware of pickpocketing, but it's lots of fun. It's very cool, it's very Latin America-like, big chaotic, many people, and people are yelling and selling, and it's like a huge open marketplace and quite a fun place. Be aware, as foreigners, it might be a little bit uncomfortable if you're not used to that many people in this environment, but I walk there from time to time, never had the issue, so no problems. If you like that kind of stuff, you should go and visit it. And I already mentioned Casa Nariño, the House of the President. Very cool, very beautiful house, tons of arts inside, but it's a little bit difficult to get there because sometimes there are tours, sometimes not. And when you apply for a tour, that's actually with the defense department. You have to hand in different documents, and then it will be a background check and so on and so on. But if you get in there, the tour, super cool. So I really can recommend it. Then also next to the Bolivar Square, when you go there, you also should visit one of the restaurants, and I say one here is Puerta Falsa, the false door. So you have actually 3 or 4 different restaurants right next to each other. Very cool, very original Bogota food. You will find ajiaco and lots of sweets, and Go there, have just something little, some finger food, just to try. If you're hungry, go there for lunch. Be aware also around noon, between, let's say, 12 and 3 o'clock, it might happen that there's quite some lineup. So try to avoid peak hours in those restaurants. Then we stay in La Candelaria. We go to the Chorro de Quevedo. This is actually the birthplace of Bogota, what they say. It's believed that Bogota was founded over there. There's also a little church. It's not the original one, but a replica. And it's also a very cool place. In the morning it's mostly empty, but in around noon, in the afternoon, evening, you will have many people. You can sit outside, have a beer, you have performance artists, sometimes you have whole performance groups, you have music, sometimes students sit around, smoke weed, drink beer, and then sometimes the police is on site, and then it's a little bit more organized, let's phrase it like this. You can drink chicha, that's the traditional indigenous alcoholic beverage, and it's just a cool place to hang around with lots of history. Then also between actually Chorro de Quevedo and Bolivar Square there is the Teatro Colón. This is one of the 7 wonders of Colombia. It's an opera house, it's beautiful. They offer also tours. You can inscribe yourself on the website. Also we'll put the link downside in the description section. And then we have the local market also in La Candelaria. It's called Plaza de la Concordia. That's where you also can see me from time to time, because I go there shopping several times a week. All my fruits and vegetables. And there's also chocolate, coffee, lots of stuff. Restaurants for lunch, really cool, very cheap, good food. If you're by your own, go there, have a look, have a walk, eat some fruits, have lunch, enjoy. It's very, very local, really cool place. Also the terrace outside, you can sit and you have a great view over Bogota. Then very important museums. The one you must actually visit is the Gold Museum. Colombia was and still is famous for lots of gold. There's lots of gold mining, and the Spaniards, when they occupied or invaded Colombia, they took almost everything with them, but not everything. So in the Gold Museum you will see extensive collection. They have over 55,000 gold items, and it's mostly connected to the indigenous history, their tribes, and the Muiscas that lived here in the region before. And also very connected is the Guatavita Lagoon. More to that later. Then I would say the second most important museum here in all over Colombia is the Botero Museum, and maybe you are already familiar with Botero. Those are those chubby people and animals, and everything is chubby. Really cool. But the important point is this museum has not only collections of Botero, which he donated, they also show many grandmasters, European grandmasters. Botero got so rich with his art that he bought so much art in Europe, and he donated mostly everything to the Colombian state, and you will find that in the Botero Museum. And I think it has a value now over $1 billion. And you also will find Pablo Picasso, Monet, Dali, and many more. It's really a beautiful museum, and I can recommend you to go there. Very, very cool museum. Other stuff you can visit in Bogota that are really cool is, for example, the Bolivar City Park. It's 113 hectares. That's like a third of the central part of New York. It's quite big with lakes, and you can do some boating and go running and stuff. It's really beautiful. You should go there. There's the Botanical Garden. Awesome place. Very quiet. You can see so much plants from all over Colombia. It's a great collection. It's very nicely made, and I can recommend going there. Then you can go to Palo Quemao. That's the biggest marketplace here in Colombia. It's huge, and all my clients go there and they're all impressed because you see all those beautiful colors of fruits and vegetables and the flavors of the fruits. Awesome place, you should go. Then tours in Bogota. Of course, I'm a tour operator, so I recommend having a really good organized tour for yourself, your group, your family, because with the professional guide and the small tour you can get most out of it. And the quality of the tour guides we have here in Bogota is excellent. So many smart guys speak Spanish, French, English, German, Portuguese, almost whatever you need. Really smart, cool tour guides. Also, we have public tours, and usually they're free, and after the tour, if you liked it, you give a little donation, a tip. They're also excellent, and we have the graffiti tour, which is very, very cool. I can recommend. Then the Bogota Old Town free walk, and there's actually two of them. One I think is organized by the state, and one is a private organization. You can check it on the internet, because then you actually have the exact information when and where they start. One started in front of the Gold Museum, I think at 10 and 2 or 11 at 1, something like that. And the other one is on the Plaza de los Periodistas. This is at 10 and 2. And they're in Spanish and English. So if you're not into private tours, those public tours are great. I made them and they're really good. Then there's also the Bogota bike tour. There are different providers for doing a bike tour here in Bogota. I also can recommend this. It's great because you see a lot, and driving around the bike here in the city, it's really cool because you're very fast, because traffic is a disaster, and with the bike you just go ahead of all the traffic. Then let's talk shortly about the most important activities and sites outside Bogota that I can recommend going. So Laera Waterfall, this is on the way to Chuachi. You can take public transportation, and then you get kicked off in a turn, and then you have to walk 90 minutes, and then you can do the hike, and then the same way back. Or you can organize a private tour or hire a driver, whatever, how you do it. Public transportation works. It's a bit tricky, better when you speak Spanish, but it works fine. And Laera Waterfall, it's great. It's not a difficult hike. I made it already several times. You also can connect it with a visit to Chuachi. That's a small town, really local stuff, also cool. Then almost must do is the Salt Cathedral in Zipaquira. This was a salt mine and now converted, or since many years converted into a cathedral. So you go underground, and there is lots of constructions, art with churches, crosses, shops. Really cool activity. You should do it. When you come to Bogota, it's almost a must. Then the Guatavita Lagoon. You go out north of Bogota. It's very good to connect it when you go to Villa de Leyva in Boyacá. And it's actually connected with the Gold Museum, because the El Dorado, the gold rush we had here in Colombia, was that the Spaniards, they thought all the indigenous, they put their gold into this lagoon, so they tried to get to that gold in putting explosive around the lagoon, but it didn't work. And yeah, you should do the tour. It's in Spanish. If you want to have a tour in English, you need to hire an English-speaking guide. You need to have an organized tour, because the history is very cool. I'm not going to tell you everything, but we also have a separate video on the YouTube channel that you can watch and have more of an idea. Then the biggest party you've ever seen in your life is Friday, Saturday in Chia. This is 1 hour, 90 minutes north of Bogota. You go to Andres Carne. This restaurant has space for 2,000 people. It's a steak restaurant, and then there's music, and it's just so crazy. It's so cool. Like, people go there and they go for good food, good party, dancing all night long. If you're into that, do it. It's really cool. But you have to organize your transport back to the city, and when you want to drive back at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, then you're happy, you can walk out the restaurant, and there and your transport is waiting for you. Then, of course, we have lots of nature here around Bogota. We have different national parks. The biggest one is Chingaza. It's huge, and it's also the altitude is quite high, so it's Paramo. You have the Frailejones plants. You can find the oso andino, the Andean bear, many other animals, and it's great for hiking, it's great for bird watching, great to connect with nature. So if you're into nature, Chingaza, that's a good option. If you want to see and visit a historic town, which is one of the most beautiful ones here in Colombia, go to Villa de Leyva in Boyacá. It takes you between 3 and 4 hours. From Bogota, you can go to the Portal Norte with the Transmilenio, the public bus, and then on the side you will see buses that go to Villa de Leyva. Or you organize it with your tour operator or with me, and then you can visit the town. Hey Colombia traveler! Do not miss out on the great additional information we always provide below in the description sections of all our videos. Now back to the video. Playing golf in Colombia and Bogota. I'm actually the first mover here in Colombia to offer playing golf all over the country, and of the 50 golf courses all around Colombia, almost half are here in Bogota. We have great golf courses. You have to imagine those are private country clubs, and they usually don't have only a golf course, but also tennis courts, gym, pool. Some you can do horse riding, some have a lake where you can do water ski or wakeboard, and it's really private. As a normal player, you cannot just call and then get a tee time. So this is very exclusive. You need to have access. I have access to many clubs already. And if you're into golf, you can play here in Bogota all year round. And we have awesome golf courses like La Cima on 3,000 meters above sea level. This is the second highest golf course in the world. And then we have golf courses like El Rincón, which I think it was in the 80s, was in the top 50 of the world, and they're so good, those golf courses. And yeah, you can play year round. If you want to have some golf playing in Bogota or even all around Colombia, send me an email and I'm more than happy to organize that for you. So Bogota is not only the capital, it's like the center of everything. So the politics are here, the economy is here, art is here, culture is here, everything. So this is also why you find so many cultural events, and many of them are free. Just few of them. You have jazz at the park, rock at the park. You have the art ball along weekend celebrating art, modern art. And there's many more events. If you go and check out the cultural agenda of Bogota, it's a huge list. Go online and check it. If you come here and you're interested in that stuff, do it. It's really cool. Let's talk about food in Bogota. The Colombian food in general, I would say it's not top 3 of the world, but in the last couple of years, something really interesting happened. In Colombia, and especially Bogota, you have more young chefs that want to discover, explore more the potential of Colombia, because everything grows here. We have so many fish, so many animals, and like everything grows here like crazy. So they started to try new things. So the quality of the top restaurants here in Bogota, it's like skyrocketing. So if you come to Bogota and you want to have some culinary experiences, it's a good moment to come. We're still not on the level of Peru, Italy, or Japan, but we made so much progress in the last couple of years. So check out the good restaurants, and I'm sure some might even impress you. What are actually the best travel times for Bogota? Usually in Colombia, the high season is between December and March. This is the general dry season. Also here in Bogota, in January, I think we had not one day of rain and just blue sky. Now we have El Nino, so there's rain, but also not too much, and it started late, like in April. And it depends a little bit on the weather phenomena, El Nino, La Nina, and as I said, we have dry season, we have wet season, but finally, you know, when you come to Bogota, a city, it doesn't matter when you come. I'm actually more than happy when the sun is not burning down, because I'm very bright skinned, and the sun is so strong because we are almost on the geographic equator and of the altitude, so I risk burning myself, always have to wear a hat. So I'm not bothered with a little rain, and usually it's not raining like for weeks. There's a shower and then it's okay. Also, if you want to have more information on the statistics, down in the description section we have a link to our weather and climate guide in Colombia that will give you a general overview. Let's talk a little bit about transportation and traffic in Bogota, and it's a disaster. So I usually take the Transmilenio, those are the big buses, and sometimes taxi. My car usually stays in the garage. Here in Bogota, I don't like to drive because driving culture is really bad. I only use my car driving around all Colombia to visit the destinations. If you're into public transportation and want to experience how the locals get around, Transmilenio, it's probably the fastest and the cheapest, and outside peak hours it's also very comfortable. Take taxi, take Uber, take Didi, all those apps, everything works. In the past they said it's very dangerous taking a cab on the street. I did it many times, never had an issue, and there are still many stories from the old times. Those days I never heard something happening because everything became much more safer here in the country. So if you're not on a high budget, you're fine with taxi, it's cheap. If you have an organized trip, then you have your transport anyway, and then you can relax, you have a driver. So let's talk a little bit about safety here in Bogota. So the population of Bogota is 8, 10, 12 million people. They come from all over Colombia. Also, we have many people from Venezuela, and we have a big difference, rich and poor. And as a tourist, you have to be aware of pickpocketing and robberies. I live here for over 9 years. Never ever something happened to me, not only in Bogota, but all over the country. Might be luck, might be Colombia is really not that dangerous like everybody says. What you always hear and see, and you know, in those Netflix shows, Narcos and stuff, I mean, this is television, and Colombia used to be a very dangerous place, but those days Bogota, I mean, you walk around, it's like another big city all over the world. You have a certain risk. There are criminals, but I would say if you take the normal precautions, don't swing around your iPhone 25 or your Rolex or whatever, don't bling and shine, just be normal, low profile, usually nothing happens. There are some things you need to know. If you're in the city center, you should not go further south, you can go up north, should all be fine. Don't walk just into neighborhoods you don't know nothing about. Just don't wander around all the city. It's the same. If you're in Chicago or New York, just don't walk somewhere you have no clue where to go. There are areas that are not that good, they're a little dangerous, but the common tourist areas, no issue at all. Then neighborhoods, you should go also to Usaquén. That was once a village that was swallowed up by the growing city. Also many restaurants. It's very cozy on Sunday afternoons with the flea market. Good place to go by yourself, walk around a little bit. Then Zona Rosa. This is where you find the shopping mall Andino, and that's where you find lots of restaurants, nightlife, many boutiques. So if you're into fashion, haute couture, all this stuff, that's the place for you to go. Then we have La Macarena, very close to the city center. Also a great place with great restaurants. You can stroll around. Be a bit careful, there are some not so good neighborhoods right next to them. Then what you also find in La Macarena, Perseverancia Market, there you should go and have lunch. You will find food from all over Colombia. Really, really cool. Go there. And then there is Zona G, the Zone G for gourmet. You will find also very cool restaurants, and the Four Seasons Casa Medina, best hotel in Bogota, is also right in that area. Then also, didn't mention so far, National Museum, also very nice. And then Bogota on Sundays and public holidays, you can do ciclovia. That means from 7 in the morning until 2 o'clock. Most main roads are closed for traffic. You can go on your bike with your inline skates, walking, running, all around the city. Really cool. And also you will find different flea markets in different areas. So, basic information about Bogota. Give you a little bit of an overview. The altitude is 2,650 meters above sea level. This is 8,530 feet. So if you're arriving to Bogota, take it easy the first 1-2 days, because the elevation is quite high. If you want to Monserrate, even higher, or to Guadalupe, be careful. Altitude can affect your health. Then the climate is usually between 10 and 15 Celsius, or 50 to 59 Fahrenheit. We had here the pre-Muisca settlement that was 18,000 years ago. So you see, the Spaniards have not been the first ones here. And Bogota was actually founded 1538 by the Spanish conquistador Gonzalo Jimenez de Quesada. As you know, the Spaniards, they arrived around 1500 on the Caribbean coast, between La Guajira and Santa Marta today. Then on July 20, 1810, we had the Declaration of Independence from Spain, and 1819 achieved full independence after the Battle of Boyacá. So when you drive to Villa de Leyva, you will find the bridge over there where you have the battle, and that's a kind of and that's a place you should actually stop over to hear a little bit out of the history of the Battle of Boyacá. I think that's it. Our Bogota travel guide. Don't forget, try out the written information on our website. Very extensive information. Search for Pelecanus Bogota Travel Guide, or find the link down in the description section. If you have any comments of whatever, write them down in the comment section. I wish you the best wherever you are. I hope you come to Colombia very soon. It's an awesome country. It's getting better and better. See you soon here back on my YouTube channel, or even better, here in Bogota, Colombia. See you soon. Yours, Colombia Frank. Bye bye.